Hello everybody, I am the Inspector and welcome back to another video. I do apologize for saying that I was going to be getting a video to you all the day of my last update, but unfortunately my plans for the content, the new kind of content I was thinking about for this channel they fell through, and I had to readjust things to match that. So I am now looking for a replacement for the replacement for my reading of The Loud House Revamped. But nevertheless, I've finally gotten things to where I can, now make another video. And I decided I would do another good old-fashioned inspection, but this time of 5 different Trader Joe's brand items from the Trader Joe's store. I am excited to try these, particularly because of their Trader Joe's reputation for having, somewhat higher quality than just like a regular store-bought stuff, or at least passable quality. But from my experience with their things in the past, I am certainly intrigued to try these 5 different items. But yeah, with all that out of the way. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, and comment. Feedback is always appreciated. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So the first item here is Trader Joe's uncured pepperoni pizza mac and cheese bowl. And this is mac and cheese with pizza sauce and uncured pepperoni. It says here that this was inspected and passed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, so that's a plus. And it does look pretty appetizing here. I've got to say, this definitely is something that I would want to eat. It definitely looks. You can see all the different ingredients. It's all very nicely laid out. Although I don't think it comes with this metal pan here, but or this visually appealing fork, but I'm sure that would probably be too much to ask. So this does contain wheat and milk. So, if you're allergic to either of those things, you might regret eating this. Yeah. This, I'm probably going to heat this up in the microwave, because I am rather hungry. And I don't have the patience to eat this oven-baked, even though it would probably be better that way. But I think, if your item has the option to be microwavable, then, it should still, that's no excuse for a lack in quality. So, I will certainly still have, I'm not changing my expectations just because I'm choosing an alternative option. But, you know, they have the directions for it here, so, you know. I will still judge it all the same. And if the other items are also, like, you know, microwavable or whatever, I will, you know, also choose that option for it. But yeah, I will go heat this up and be right back. I did want to say, I just opened it, and I did want to say, looking at it frozen in the package comparatively to the picture here, paints a bit of a different image. This looks frozen in the package, nowhere near as appetizing as this, but you know, it probably isn't supposed to, so, you know, I'm not gonna judge it based off of this. I just wanted to note that difference, that there is a difference in terms of look. But yeah. See you in one moment. Alright, so I got it all microwaved up. Here it is. It doesn't, you know, again, doesn't look exactly like this, but it does look fairly close. Closer than I actually expected it to look, so that is kind of impressive. You know, you can definitely see the parsley, you know, the pepperoni, which doesn't look as bright as the picture would suggest it to, but I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but the cheese sauce and or the pizza sauce and the pizza sauce and the mac and cheese does look more or less like how it looks here. So, yeah, I guess I'll, you know, visually it could be worse. It certainly looks better than when it was frozen, so you know, so far it's, it doesn't look bad. And it smells, you know, it does smell of pepperoni pizza very strongly. It certainly smells appetizing, so without further... I have to stop saying that. Nevertheless, let's dig in. Well, the sauce has got a nice flavor. Not bad, but I'm not so sure about the pepperoni. I'll just try one individually. Yeah, there's a good little bit of heat. There's a good little bit of spice in there. Just the mac and cheese. The mac and cheese could be cheesier, I will say. It's not bad, but there could be more to it. The pepperoni is solid. but maybe a little dry. Um, mm. But the more burnt pieces taste good. Okay. I'm starting to get that cheese flavor in there. Yeah, not bad, but the cheese is just not really there, and the pepperoni is a bit stale. Although it's solid pepperoni, and the cheese is there, and it's not as there as it could be, but it is there, and the mac, um, the noodles are they're definitely noodling. I mean, this is definitely decent. Is this a mac and cheese bowl to cry home about? I'm not so sure, but you could go worse. You could be eating Velveeta or whatever. Um, this certainly tastes like real cheese, and not just some compound, some cheese compound. And it does taste fresh, with the exception of the pepperoni, but the pepperoni still got at least the flavor. Mm. Yeah, it's nice. It satiates the taste buds well enough. The the tomato is good. It definitely has a flavor reminiscent of pepperoni pizza. Maybe not exactly like that, but you know, it's not a bad combo. I mean, honestly, for microwavable mac and cheese, this is pretty good for a microwavable mac and cheese bowl. This is I mean, I know this isn't the only mac and cheese bowl at Trader Joe's. So honestly, after this, I kind of feel like I might have to try the others just to just to compare, and let you all know which one I would recommend the most for anyone. If you ever find yourself shopping at Trader Joe's and you're like, I have to have some mac and cheese. But not knowing what the others taste like, this isn't bad. You wouldn't be doing wrong, wanting a fine mac and cheese bowl and buying this. It certainly is, at the very least, a decent one. And, for a microwavable mac and cheese bowl, you know, that's honestly like, that is the bare minimum that you need. And the pepperoni's not bad. It could be fresher, but it's not bad. There could be more parsley. Because the bites where I am getting parsley, it's a nice touch, but I don't know if there's really enough of it. I mean, does this taste as rich and, you know, uh, is this like, does this live up to what this image, the impression that image brings? Not necessarily, but, you know, it's definitely still, it is satiating the savory, if you're craving something savory, you could go worse. I've definitely, of course, I've had much worse mac and cheese, and yeah. Honestly, there could probably be more meat in this. Like, I understand if they can't put, like, too much pepperoni in it, but you could probably throw in a few other meats in there. I think that would help it, as well as more parsley and cheese. I mean, I understand if the pepperoni can't be, I understand if things can't be as fresh as they could be, but, I do think this could have a lot more going on with it. But, for what it's worth, it's not bad. So, I'd say, this is probably a solid 5.5 out of 10. I'm giving it the 5.5 because it does satisfy the taste buds, and it is a decent mac and cheese bowl. You won't come away disappointed from this, but you might also come away from it craving more. You may come away from it feeling, not fully satisfied. And for that reason, I'm giving it the 5.5. Okay, that's one item down, 4 to go. But yeah, the Trader Joe's uncured pepperoni pizza mac and cheese bowl, 5.5 out of 10. Continuing on. Second item up, we have Trader Joe's butter chicken with basmati rice. Basmati? I hope I said that correctly. But I guess this is a product of Canada. So, shout out to the Canadians for this. And it is fully cooked. So this is another thing that you're just heating up. Apparently this is a authentic Indian recipe. But this does contain milk. So, if you were hoping for this without milk, this might not be your go-to. And I guess the tray in here is made from renewably sourced plant fiber, so that's cool. Anyways, once again, it has directions to microwave it, so I'll get right to it, and I'll see you all later. Oh, but again, looks quite appetizing, although, I do feel a little bit sad that we probably won't be getting this broccoli and this bread. I'm sure that doesn't come with it, but it would be nice if it did. But I understand if they're not going to go the extra mile. It's to show how it would be traditionally served. I assume. But yeah, visually, this is a visually intriguing package, and I can't wait to try it. So, I will now open it. I will say something I did not expect is that the butter chicken and the basmati rice come separately, so that's interesting. I guess you have to I'm guessing that's so that the rice isn't, like mush from the sauce of the butter chicken. But yeah, it doesn't look bad. The rice certainly looks like how it does on the package. So, and the sauce is of the same texture. Can't really see the chicken too well, but I assume it'll, turn out looking like that. So, yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, and before I get into this, I do want to say I punctured both sides 4 times, and that did cause the sauce to spill over while this was heating up in the microwave, but not too much so, but it did make a little bit of a mess, so there is that. So don't do what I did, I guess, to, only puncture it like once or twice. And hopefully it won't spill over. But, yeah. There's certainly, I will say, that there's, oh, I forgot the box. One moment. There's certainly not, I guess how much, the amount of chicken and rice there is compared to the amount that there actually is. My, again, it's, I think it's another one of those trick of the eye things. But that is I will say marginally disappointing. But it smells nice. Smells like a hearty meal. So yeah, or at least it smells. I'm definitely getting the chicken. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive right in. Now, first the sauce, since the fork is already dipped in it. Well, that's good. Oh, and it's got a bit of a kick to it. I'll try the basmati rice first by itself. And the chicken. And try to get a good piece here. The chicken. The chicken might be the best part. No, the sauce is the best part. The butter chicken sauce. But there's a nice grain, there's like a real texture to the chicken that, you might think is missing from a microwave meal. Or, I shouldn't say meal, but, dish. And, now, together. Oh, that's a nice combination. That's really nice. Because the rice on its own isn't much, but paired with that, it does add like this level of texture that really it's really a unique. This is definitely like great in terms of texture and very savory in terms of flavor. I'm just getting as much sauce as I can in there over from the other side. I will say, like, microwaving it might have made the rice a little watery, but it definitely, paired with the chicken and then the sauce, it definitely helps it. Yeah. This is good. This is definitely, I can already tell that I'm going to be rating this higher than pepperoni pizza mac and cheese bowl. That's good. Even if it's just the sauce and the rice, it still feels like you're eating a piece of a. It's very textural. Yeah, there's a nice the rice. Although I will say it's a little dry. It brings this layer of like it brings an extra layer of grain and grit to it that's really nice and filling. That chicken. Oh. Yeah, that's a good heat. That's a good spice. It's certainly better than the mac and cheese bowl, which did have a slight heat to it, but not as much as one might hope when it comes to pepperoni. Or at least for someone like me who, craves heat. That's good. Yeah, that's got a surprisingly good spice to it. I didn't necessarily expect that, although yeah, maybe I should have, but the yeah, the combination of flavors and textures really elevates this beyond what it could have been. Yeah, but as you can see, that chicken's got some good depth to it. This is definitely very appetizing, and in the area of taste and texture for savoriness. I do think it might be brought down a little by the microwavable taste to it, but that's if I'd taken the time to heat this up in the oven, it would probably be better in terms of that. And I might it might not taste as much like a prepackaged meal, but for for one, it's pretty dang good. And and the rice, doesn't taste as fresh as it could, but it's still pretty good. The chicken definitely is nice and nicely fresh, though, with the sauce. Mm. Yeah. There's a nice graininess to this. You can really, really taste the ingredients. It's just, yeah. I suppose, again, this isn't as good as I think it could be, I will say, but, it's definitely fairly satisfying nonetheless. Looks like my, shout out to Jeff the Noob Gamer. Looks like he's playing Jackbox right now. Just got that notification on there. So, yeah, if you're watching the video right now, just know I know what you were doing at this time. So... Any Jeff the Noob Gamer fans out there, go check him out. Maybe he'll invite you to a match of Jackbox. Okay. I just had to get a little more sauce in there, but, as you can see, I certainly enjoyed that. And now I shall move on to our third item. This time, something more sweet. Okay, so for something to cool down with, we have the Trader Joe's Root Beer Float inspired bars. These are vanilla ice cream and root beer dessert bars, and there's 6 of them. But I guess you can have 2 bars, as that's the serving size. So I will. These once again contain eggs and milk. And they describe this as a soda fountain favorite, fantastically frozen on a stick. These brilliant bars will bring you back to sunny afternoons spent relishing in root beer float bliss. I don't know if I've ever had a sunny afternoon like that, but I'd certainly like to aspire to. So, now visually this does look about the same as it does on the package. You know, it certainly has a nice, you know, this looks nicely coated in the caramel, and you can see that the inside does have the, well, I'm assuming this is, I guess this isn't caramel, well, whatever the coating is, that is supposed to be the root beer portion. I think it's caramel, because I have had these in the past, actually. I thought I would, you know, inspect them for the channel, but if I remember correctly, I think these are actually, you know, caramel. But the inside is the vanilla ice cream. Yeah, I remember these being pretty good, so I hope they live up to that memory. It's been a while since I've had these, so it definitely smells like root beer, like a root beer float. So yeah. There's definitely a root beer. I'm just gonna eat this, but there's a nice root beer taste to that. Maybe it's not as strong as I remember it being, but it's not bad. All right, I'm gonna bite into it now. Oh, the vanilla ice cream in this is just fantastic. Oh, did I forget to rate the last item? The oh my goodness, I did. Okay, I'll finish this and then I'll rate that and then I'll rate this. But yeah, this is so good. Actually, I do wish I wasn't eating it this fast. Definitely take your time with these, because they're definitely worth it. Yeah. The outside coating is like a root beer caramel, kind of icy coating, and then the inside is just like, it's really rich and creamy vanilla ice cream. Yeah, so the butter chicken with basmati rice, I would say was a 7.5 out of 10. And the root beer float inspired bars are like at least a 9 out of 10. You know, I think the flavor could actually be a bit stronger, at least in terms of the root beer. The vanilla ice cream part is great though. But yeah, I guess the flavor's not as strong as one might hope it to be, but it's these are still just delicious. You know, definitely what you want in a you know, solid ice cream bar. Yeah, and now on to the next item. Alright, so, still in the area of sweet things, we have Trader Joe's maple flavored fudge. These are little pieces of rich and buttery English fudge with maple syrup. Now that just sounds like a deal made in heaven. Yeah, this looks like a solid fudge. Definitely enticing. And this contains milk and may contain peanut, almond, coconut, pecan, and pistachio. So, you know, warning if you're allergic to any of those things. This is a product of England. So, shout out to England for the maple flavored fudge pieces. Yeah. Yeah, this definitely looks like a solid fudge. You can definitely smell the maple. It's a bit strong. Yeah, I'm wondering if this will be smooth or more smooth fudge or more grainy fudge. Because I have my grandmother on my mom's side makes some really great fudge, and so I judge all fudge that I come across. I judge it based on the memory of her fudge. So all right, smells like maple. Okay, that's interesting. Um, it's not entirely grainy. It is grainy, but it's not super grainy. It's got somewhat of a smoothness to it. It's a little bit inconsistent in terms of the texture, but oh, but that maple flavor, it's definitely there. It's strong. I feel like I just licked some maple syrup. Just like drank It's kind of like you have a jar of maple syrup and you're sipping out of it. That's what this tastes like. It's nice. Yeah. Texture wise, it's not bad. I will say I prefer the smoother fudge, like the kind my wonderful grandmother makes. But this isn't bad. This is certainly, I think this certainly meets the basic taste requirements for what fudge should taste like. It definitely has kind of that sweet tang that all fudge has. But this is definitely more of a candy fudge, a store-bought candy fudge, and less of a, fresh homemade fudge. Yeah, I guess I can have 3 pieces, 'cause that's the serving size, so I will. Yeah, but that maple flavor, that's really nice. If you're a maple fan and you have a Trader Joe's in your area, you know, what are you waiting for? I mean, this is it right here. Um, in terms of maple, but yeah, not bad. But this certainly could be softer, but it's yeah, but the grain isn't. It's not too grainy. It's not too hard. Yeah, this is definitely interesting though. You can kind of see that there's parts of it that are less solid. Yeah, this is some nice fudge. You know, if you're a maple fan and if you're a fudge fan, can't go wrong. This this is pretty dang tasty for those purposes. Um, yeah. Hmm. It's certainly rich. Would I say that it's buttery? Not really, but it's definitely rich. It's got a good texture, got a good flavor. I'm gonna give Trader Joe's maple flavored fudge a 8 out of 10. And yeah. The next item, the final item, I guess is these like, I think they're like brownies or something, but I looked at the package beforehand, and it looks like they're gonna take like 2 hours to thaw. If you just put them in the refrigerator, which, you know, I mean, of course, you can heat them up in the oven, but I'm not going to do that. So, I'm gonna have, the next item, you know, I'm not going to get back to you for about 2 hours, so, you know, I guess, see you guys then. Oh, just wanted to say it's actually going to be 3 hours. Now, you know, you could say, you know, well, Soren, I mean, well, the inspector, why not just put it in the oven for, you know, what's only going to take 3 minutes? Well, because I don't want to, that's why. So, therefore, I will see you all in 3 hours. This is Inspector Land, and in Inspector Land, the inspector makes the rules.